Well, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, Earth Day. We are here this morning for our Administrative Matters meeting. I call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome, everyone. I'm Kristen Stevens, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners. With me is my fellow Commissioner, Commissioner John Kafalos. We expect Commissioner Shattuck McNally soon. To my right, we have Diane Cheney from the Clerk and Recorder's Office. We have our County Manager, Lorinda Volker. We have Tom Clayton from Public Affairs, and we have Sarah Martin from our the Commissioner's office. So we will begin, as we always do, with public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to give public comment? Please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. We'll have you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kostas Sofianos. I live out in LaPorte. Appreciate you guys having me this morning. I just wanted to come and speak on behalf of myself and the LaPorte community and bring awareness to the future sale or current sale of the old firehouse station number 7. The LaPorte community for a long time has been looking towards creating a community center and would love to do that with the county's help. LAPAC has been talking about it for a long time. I think it's been part of the LaPorte area plan for about 20 years. Nothing has really happened with that. I just feel like this might be a missed opportunity if we don't take advantage of potentially using county, maybe public-private partnership to do a purchase of this property. We love the new firehouse. It looks phenomenal, and I know there's been some conversation of having that be held as a community space too. But when I'm looking at the old firehouse for sale, in its current condition and form, there's a kitchen. There's a large area in the back would be maybe public garden. I know funding for all this is going to be really hard, but I love what the county's been able to do with some of the open spaces. And I guess what I'm asking for is for the counties to consider adding an asset like this, potentially with, it would have to go to a vote, but maybe creating a special tax district and using some tax revenue to potentially add an asset on, 50 cents on the dollar if the community can come up with some funds and the county can add some funds to it. And, LaPorte serves not just our own community, but is kind of a hub for a lot of the foothills, mountain community from Risk Canyon and Poudre Canyon. And I just feel like we'd be missing an opportunity, like I said, if we didn't maybe take advantage of this space. There's a lot of community events that could be held there, after school stuff for the school district, potentially maybe look at some funding if that's possible from Poudre School District. Oftentimes the LaPorte community and CLP serve as a space in the emergency disaster relief. This could also provide space for that. And maybe what I'm asking for too is to just even look. I don't know what the county can do with potentially stalling the sale. It's owned by, as far as I know, Poudre Fire District. Maybe just to allow the community to come together and potentially come up with a nonprofit to buy it. It's very last minute. I know it came for sale, and we're kind of don't have a lot of time, but I just think that would be a great opportunity for the community.
Thank you, Costa.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
All right. Is there anyone else who would like to give public comment this morning in the audience? Sarah, was there anyone who wanted to call in on the phone?
No, Commissioner.
No. Okay. We'll bring it back to the commissioners. Commissioner Kofalos, do you have any comments after public comment?
Yes, actually, I do.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kostas. Nice to see you in person. I have received 3 emails from some of your neighbors up there about this potential opportunity. I haven't responded to those folks yet, but I did reach out to our county manager and asked if she and I, after this meeting, perhaps could sit down and just exchange some ideas about what kind of guidance, what kind of support the county might be able to give. We typically don't buy buildings, but there might be some other creative ideas. And I was planning to be up in LaPorte again, perhaps May 10th. I was going to push it to June. But if you and your neighbors think it would be best for me to get up there sooner than later, then we can keep that May 10th date as my community conversation. We can make that happen instead of waiting till June. That's all I have to say, Madam Chair. We'll follow up.
Yeah, we will follow up, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. I wasn't aware that was happening, and so I don't know what the possibilities could be. We don't, like, as Commissioner Cafalas was saying, we usually don't buy buildings, but there may be some creative ways we can think of to help you kind of work through that. So we'll be in touch for sure. All right. Well, we will end public comment then, and we will move to approval of the minutes for the week of April 14th, 2025. Commissioner Cafalas, will you make that motion, please?
Yes, I'd be delighted to. I move to approve the minutes for the week of April 14th, 2025.
Thank you. Commissioner, there's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. Welcome, Commissioner Shattuck McNally. And we will move on to our upcoming schedule review. We'll do that for a couple weeks because we won't be having an administrative matters meeting next week. And so, Sarah, we'll let you get started.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for April 28th through May 4th, 2025. On Monday, April 28th, there will be an open schedule. On Tuesday, April 29th, also an open schedule. On Wednesday, April 30th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioners Stevens and Shattuck McNally may attend the Integrated Emergency Management Local Training at the Larimer County Office of Emergency Management at 4872 Endeavor Drive in Johnstown. On Thursday, May 1st, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioners Stevens and Shattuck McNally may attend the Integrated Emergency Management Local Training at the Larimer County Office of Emergency Management at 4872 Endeavor Drive in Johnstown. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the North Front Range Metropolitan Planning Organization Planning Council meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Milliken Meeting House at 1201 Broad Street in Milliken or virtually via GoToMeeting. On Friday, May 2nd, from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioners Stevens and Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Governing Board meeting. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioners Stevens and Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together member check-in. On Saturday, May 3rd, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., there will be Common Grounds with Commissioner Shattuck McNally. Topics will include Mental Health Awareness Month and an update on the Larimer County Behavioral Health Center. This will take place at Feel Love Coffee at 210 East 4th Street in Loveland. On Sunday, May 4th, from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will volunteer at the Coalition for the Poudre Watershed Tree Planting event at Ted's Place at 6511 US 287 in LaPorte. From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Imagine Zero of Larimer County Teen Self-Care Fair at the Chilson Senior Center at 700 East 4th Street in Loveland. And this is the Commissioner's schedule for May 5th through the 10th, 2025. On Monday, May 5th, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., the Commissioners will convene as the Board of Social Services in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources, in the Commissioners' Conference Room on the second floor. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the Justice Necessary Period Palooza 2025 at the Hilton Garden Inn at 2821 East Harmony Road in Fort Collins. From 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Commissioner Cafalas may attend the Toy, Game, and Puzzle Library Show and Tell event at the Foothills Mall at 215 East Foothills Parkway in Fort Collins. On Tuesday, May 6th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m., there will be legislative direction to county staff in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be administrative direction to county management in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., the Commissioners will participate in the virtual Town of Estes Park Board of Trustees Joint Study Session regarding Visit Estes Park. From 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Rodeo Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the McKee 4-H Youth and Community Building at 5280 Arena Circle in Loveland or virtually via Zoom. From 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Parks Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 4200 West County Road 38E in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. On Wednesday, May 7th, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the Virtual Extension Advisory Board meeting. From 9:45 a.m. to 10:15 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will speak at the Larimer County New Employee Orientation in the hearing room on the first floor. From 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a budget retreat in the Lake Estes Conference Room on the third floor. From 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., there will be a liquor license hearing for the George Peach Post No. 4 American Legion change of manager in the Commissioners Conference Room on the second floor. From 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual North Interstate 25 Coalition meeting. On Thursday, May 8th, from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioners Stevens may attend the Fort Collins Downtown Development Authority Board meeting at Innisphere Ventures at 320 Vine Drive in Fort Collins. From 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Finance Committee meeting. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens may attend the TAC 212 Teen Activity Center barbecue party at 212 West Mountain Avenue in Fort Collins. From 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens may attend the NOCO Foundation 50 Years of Philanthropy Community Celebration at the Lincoln Center at 417 West Magnolia Street in Fort Collins. On Friday, May 9th, from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the State Board of Human Services. It's a hybrid meeting in person. It will be at 1575 Sherman Street in Denver or virtually via Zoom. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioners may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together member check-in meeting. On Saturday, May 10th, from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the LaPorte community. Topic will be announced prior to the meeting. This will take place at Me Oh My Pie at 3310 West County Road 54G in LaPorte. From 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens will attend the Homeward Alliance Ungalloween at the Laurie Student Center Ballroom at 1101 Center Avenue Mall in Fort Collins. That's it.
Thank you, Sarah. Commissioners, are there any corrections you need to make to your schedules? Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thank you, Sarah. So on Wednesday, April 3rd, because our course just got canceled to be in Maryland, FEMA canceled it. I will be attending, I think we're going to be doing the training in Johnstown on Wednesday and Thursday with the local exercise training. There's going to be a different...
She added.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But at that same time, the Hybrid Forest Health Council I'm going to have to do a presentation because I'm on the Forest Health Council. So also I need to do that presentation about the same time. I don't know the exact timing. So that's on my schedule that I won't be going to Pagosa, of course, but I'll be doing that virtually. So, and then on May 8th, it's a big May, but there's possibility that I might show up on Thursday, May 8th at 5 for the TAC barbecue, or the 5:30. I might be making brief appearances there on both of those. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kafalis, any additions or corrections?
Just, Sarah, we'll keep the community conversation in LaPorte for May 10th. There's, if you could inform Melissa of that, because I had said the opposite, that we would, go with June. But I think we will keep the May 10th, and one of the topics will be a discussion about this opportunity. But we'll figure out the language of what it should say. And other than that, I just want to quickly acknowledge one of our elected officials is in the audience, our county surveyor, formerly county commissioner, one of my buddies. Just wanted to acknowledge Mr. Tom Donnelly.
Thank you, Commissioner. And yeah, welcome, county surveyor and former county commissioner. I may have some corrections because our trip got canceled to those FEMA headquarters. I'll have to look, and I canceled a lot of transportation meetings, and former Commissioner Donnelly will remember those Thursdays fondly. But that Thursday will likely fill up a little bit more with some transportation meetings, but I'll be in touch about that. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next item, which is our consent agenda, and I'll read through the consent agenda this morning. Let's see. Bear with me a second. Let me find the page. All right. The first item on the consent agenda is an abatement petition for abatement or refund of taxes. You can find out more information about that on our website. Second item is 2 appointments. We have a recommended reappointment to the Environmental Science and Advisory Board for Anna Cloud for a term that will end June 30th, 2028, and a recommended reappointment to the Land Stewardship Advisory Board for Michael Hayes, Jesse Dillon, and Patrick Bickley, and they will all have appointments that will end June 30th, 2028. We have 1 letter of support. This is for the Department of Local Affairs Strong Communities grant. This is requesting approval from DOLA to reallocate $50,000 from personnel services costs to consulting services to enable a consultant to lead the development of a transfer of development units program rather than a part-time project manager position. We have 3 liquor licenses. The first one is a special event liquor permit for the Colorado Medieval Festival in Loveland, Colorado, and that's a special event liquor permit, 6%. We have a renewal for Chill, which is in Fort Collins, and that is a tavern license, and then a special event liquor permit for the Timberview Trail Run in Bellevue, Colorado, and that's a special event liquor permit. So if you do that run, apparently you get beer afterwards. Just extra incentive. Under miscellaneous items, we have 15 items. 9 of them are stipulations as to tax year 2024 value. If you want more information on those, please consult the website. Our 10th item is the Q1 Public Trustee Report from our Treasurer and Public Trustee, Irene Josie, and that is for, like I said, for Q1, which ended March 31st, 2025. We have a number 11 is a Larimer County Improvement District bylaws. There are 67 improvement districts in Larimer County who are all updating their bylaws. And there again, more information can be found online. I won't read through all 67 names. Our 12th item is retail marijuana store license and retail cultivation facility license. This is for a renewal of, as I said, a store license and cultivation facility license for Flower Power Botanicals for both the retail license and the cultivation license. The 13th item is Environmental Science and Science Advisory Board bylaws. We're tackling a lot of bylaws in this meeting, so an update to those bylaws. The 14th item is our Larimer County legislative positions. As folks know, we take positions on legislative items at the state capitol, and those official positions can be found both on our website and on the Secretary of State's website. And our 15th item is a letter of advocacy to Representatives Evans and Boebert on tax-exempt municipal bonds. We are requesting both of these Congress people to preserve the tax-exempt status of municipal bonds, which are used to fund infrastructure investments for local governments. So not just for the county, but for school districts, cities, and others. So that's really important for us to keep those that tax exemption on those municipal bonds. And finally, the last item is a resolution, and that is a findings and resolution approving the Ehrlich appeal. So this was an appeal to store commercial fireworks in a storage building on site. So those are all the items on the consent agenda. Would either commissioner want to remove something from the consent agenda? It looks like no. So I will ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Certainly, Madam Chair. I move to approve the consent agenda for April 22nd, 2025.
Thank you. There's a motion on the table. Any further discussion on these items? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 3-0. I don't believe we have any guests in the audience. So we will move on to discussion items, of which there are none. We're just ticking along here. We'll have the county manager update next.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. It was great yesterday to celebrate year one of our Climate Smart and Future Ready, and I'll let you all speak more about that, but the group in the room, the partnerships, the collaborations were really great to honor and celebrate. I know it's difficult for a lot of folks to get out of their offices to come to something like that, but we had a really good turnout, and I think our staff did a great job kind of telling that story. So I'm sure more on that from you all who did speak there. I did do a lot of external collaboration last week. I met with Fort Collins Chamber of Commerce CEO Ann Hutchinson, Early Childhood Council of Larimer County's Executive Director Christina Taylor, County Treasurer Irene Josie, the Assessor Bob Overbeck, and then Timnath Town Manager Aaron Adams, Poudre School District Superintendent Brian Kingsley, Fort Collins City Manager Kelly DiMartino. So I feel like I finally found my desk chair again this week. A lot of external meetings. They're really great collaboration meetings to talk about the kind of work we do together, especially now in this economic environment where we don't want to repeat services. We want to make sure that we are talking with each other and providing the best services to our community at large. And so thank all of them for their partnership, their willingness to meet and work together, and to consider those same kind of things that we're concerned about.
Thank you, Lorinda. Any questions or comments for Lorinda? Lorinda, I would just ask, with that municipal bonds issue, was that something that came up, I don't know, in those conversations, or are those entities aware of that?
It has come up, and yes, they are kind of taking the same position that we are, some more formally than others. Some are doing more elected official outreach directly. Some organizations don't take political official positions, but they are very concerned about that as a tool for our economy.
Thank you. It looks like Commissioner Cavalos has a question.
Just quickly to add on, and also one of the things that I attended last week was the Housing Catalyst Board meeting, and the topic did come up there. And I did indicate to them that once we had the letter complete, we would share that letter. So we'll need to follow up on that. But it did come up. They certainly are aware and are concerned.
Right, thank you. Okay. All right, so we will move on to Commissioner activity reports. Thank you, Lorinda. And Commissioner Cavalos, I'll have you get started.
I will mention three things. One that I've already partially mentioned, but the first is that I volunteered at the Fort Collins Rescue Mission for their Easter dinner on Tuesday last week, and they had 60 plus folks, and it was a great opportunity to be with people. And there were two other, a father and son, were also volunteering, and it was a good team. The three of us serving people, putting food out, and I was in charge of giving out gifts for those who wanted them, and the gifts were shower sandals, flip-flops. Then the Housing Catalyst meeting, a board meeting, was on Thursday. I mentioned about the municipal bonds. One other thing that came up that is notable that actually involves private activity bonds, tax-exempt private activity bonds, and that is that the Housing Catalyst will serve as a special limited partner regarding care communities, care housing. They're going to do a renovation project on the rental apartments that they have across from Roland Moore Park there, across from Shields. 50 units. They'll be doing renovation, and they'll be using some of our private activity bonds to help with the financing of that project. I think the overall cost of that renovation is $18 million, perhaps. Finally, I think all three of us attended the Earth Day events at Civic Center Park on Saturday. The weather was very nice. It was a beautiful day. A lot of good energy, a lot of good fellowship, a lot of good information, and networking with folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thank you. A very busy spring weekend, and I'll start with just what was last week. Sorry, I'm trying to get my phone to. I had made some notes. Hold on. There we go. we well, I'll just start on the 16th. We have the Big Thompson Wildfire Action Ready Plan stakeholder meeting with some consultants that shared some of what they think are the high priority areas for mitigation to help kind of directs where some of the planning and resources might go and where they might tackle first in some of these larger areas, which there's lots of ground to cover, but they can't cover it all. We don't have enough resources and time. And so there's a lot of questions and from the consultants that they had hired to help with this stakeholder meeting, and I think there'll be more questions going forward. I did meet with some folks that are with organizations national that wanted to talk about some of the impacts and closures and staffing changes at the U.S. Forest Service and National Park Service, and those were productive conversations. And then we had I testified as for CC4CA and our membership, and as a board, we were against the data centers for Senate Bill 280, mostly because there's no guardrails and money and guardrails for water or ratepayer, and a lot of tax incentives for these with not a lot of jobs, but costing maybe communities and overriding local government's land use. And so I think that's something very important to share with the public, that they might be great to have all these data centers, but they do suck up a lot of water and energy off the grid. And I think there should be, I don't know why they would need tax breaks, but that's just my individual commissioner's comments. And then on Saturday or Thursday, Commissioner Stevens and I both chair this different parts of this Commissioners and Counties Acting Together organization. I do the Wildfire and Natural Resources meeting, and we went through those and had some robust conversations on some of the homeowners insurance bills and other things that are happening. And those were productive meetings. And then I jumped on the CCI legislative briefing, which is trying to keep up with all the changes at the end of the session. I happened to be driving up to Estes Park about that time, and I had my meeting up in Estes Park at Kind Coffee. We had quite a large group. We had a lot of folks from the League of Women Voters talking about solid waste. We had a newspaper there that brought some of their staff, the Chamber of Commerce, visit Estes Park, and a couple of Trans testes. It was a very large group and a very robust conversation, and I appreciate everyone's involvement. And it was good conversations. And I ran over to the Estes Valley Community Center and attended the Estes Valley Planning Advisory Committee. A lot of it was talking about some of the ALA and ADU changes that we're looking at, and also some grounding on bylaws and board procedures to make sure one knows all the rules. We're having a couple of folks who have been on for 2 terms now that have faithfully been to almost every single meeting, and it was hard to, since they're quarterly, it's hard to say goodbye. I didn't realize that was probably their last meeting, so I'll have to make a phone call there. But it was very interesting conversation, and I appreciate everyone's service on that committee, and I want to thank them all. We had our Forest Health Council meeting, the legislative committee meeting, which I chair. We're working on doing a education breakfast the beginning of the year for the state legislature in the hallways, and also we're looking in branching out and doing some now federal advocacy and legislative work, and reaching out to influence federal policy. We think this is important for the state. And then I jumped on and attended the Homeland Alliance Project Homeless Connect. It was great to tour around. It's very similar to what was done. I think Loveland had been a branch off of that for years. They haven't had that event for years because they haven't had the funding or the resources, but I volunteered for the project Homeless Connect in Loveland, so I know what it's kind of like to have those navigators and walk around. But it was great to see a lot of Larimer County staff and services there, and the Veterans League of Women Voters, and just a really great partnership and a lot of things happening serving the most vulnerable in our community, and I appreciate that. Then I went down to Lyons, had a meeting with Mayor Rogan, and had a great conversation with her, building some great strong connections with there. It was snowing, so we didn't get to do our golf tour. Lyons is known for folks using a lot of golf carts to getting through a certain side of town. They tour around on golf carts. and we had a really it's great to get to know her and get to build some strong relationships there. And then I went and toured and appreciated the invitation. Sunrise Community Health Center opened their Loveland North Clinic. And we were there for the open house and toured and met with some of the McKee Wellness Foundation has been a strong partner helping with the funding there, and talked a lot of alumni coming from all the way to the clinic. That started in really an old schoolhouse, which was very narrow kind of hallways and not really great for patient care. But now this will add, it will be not duplicating, but extending some of the from the Sunrise Clinic in the south part of Longmont or Loveland, excuse me, and beautiful campus, dental care, pharmacy, great exam rooms. Just really neat, and there's room for expansion for future as the community grows. And it's just really grateful to see really great healthcare, quality care, and taking care of some of the folks who need this kind of healthcare and dental care in our communities. So that was congratulations to Sunrise Community Health Center and Mitzi Moran for her dedicated, long-term dedicated work for there. I attended the Earth Day celebration. It was on my birthday, but it was great to spend time and talk. We had great folks from the solid waste and the health department and from our Climate Smart group. Heidi and Abby did a great job, all the partnerships. Well done to Kelly Falbo and all of them. I've been attending that event since 2009. That's where I got my first chickens, and it's just great to see it still happening and growing, and all of the positive energy that was throughout the park, and it was a lot of fun. And then on Sunday, happy Easter to everyone. I hope everyone got to celebrate in a way that it's however they celebrate with family and friends. I wanted to share a little bit how I really thought the Climate Smart Future Ready 1 year celebration was well done, and really great conversations. The folks from our partners across from Berthoud all the way to Fort Collins, the volunteer and the above and beyond engagement there, including the Mayor Pro Tem from Berthoud. You can tell they really care and they want to stay at the table. And we've built some really strong partnerships there. And I want to just commend Heidi and Abby for a job well done and reaching out to folks, and then all the department heads and departments that are involved. I think there's over 10 of them. I know these are extra duties as assigned, but it's we can't do this work and do it in such a great way with this wonderful dashboard and actually doing actual items without each and every one of them. And I want to thank them for their dedication and the willingness to dive deep into this and to make a difference. And I want to just tell them I am grateful to work alongside them and very proud of what they do. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll be brief. Just a few items that I want to highlight. So last Thursday, I was reappointed to the Middle Income Housing Authority, or at least approved in the Senate's Local Government and Housing Committee for reappointment to the Middle Income Housing Authority Board. They had some questions at the board because we really have not been able to get a project out the door yet. Partly because of the financial situation right now, high interest rates and high costs of building housing, and not a lot of gap funding for middle income housing projects. But we are working steadfastly to try to get a project out, and we will continue to do that work. So they were not, I don't think there'll be any additional funding for gap funding and barely any funding for administration, but we still hope to be able to maybe have a project coming through in one of the mountain towns in the next year. I also attended with CDOT and a lot of the transportation regional leaders, a meeting virtually. We talked about kind of what funding looks like in the next 10 years. That's also fairly bleak. Our region, which includes Larimer, Weld, and Morgan County, will likely only get about $10 million a year in funding, which in the transportation world really doesn't get you more than, maybe a mile's worth of work. And there's a lot of communities that are in need. So we will still at the MPO level be putting together our 10-year plan and our list of projects, but we will likely have to delay some of those projects or seek additional funding at the federal level or probably delay those projects. But anyway, we will continue with the exercise knowing that it's really important to identify which transportation projects we need to work on. So it was a good meeting. It was a little bleak, but it was good for us all to get together and talk about that. Also wanted to mention that our transportation commissioner, Cecil Gutierrez, was there, and all the transportation commissioners around the state will be holding telephone town halls to talk to people about transportation, what's happening in the transportation world. The telephone town hall for Region 4, which is, like I said, the region we're in, which includes Larimer, Weld, and Morgan counties, will be on May 6th from 6:30 to 7:30 if anybody wants to tune in or give some input on that. We, as Commissioner Shattuck McNally mentioned, we did attend Project Homeless Connect on Friday, and we just wanted to thank our human services folks and health department who were there, talking to people, making sure that they could get signed up for services, making sure they understood what vaccines they needed in the health department. So really great turnout from Larimer County, and wanted to thank, the Bohemian Foundation and Homeward Alliance, who were some of the sponsors of that event. Really great for people, not only people experiencing homelessness, but people who might be in danger of experiencing homelessness or have need. It's just so many resources that they could access, from haircuts to bike tune-ups to, health services, mental health services. So it was really great turnout. People could get clothing there. And so there were, I think kids were out of school, so there were a lot of little ones running around. They had a luncheon for people who needed a lunch. And so a really great event, where people could access a lot of services. So kind of one-stop shopping. And so we want to thank everybody involved with that. That is all I have for this morning. And so with that, we do not have any legal matters. And so at 9:38, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.